And just what the hell do you find so funny about this situation?
I'm really not too sure. What do you? Really, it is kind of freaking me out a little.
You're freaked out? You're freaked out? Are you capable of grasping the full meaning of what it is to be freaked out? What sounds worse to you? Some idiot taking a moment from the silence to laugh hysterically for no known reason, or a gargantuan mass of air revealing itself to be a mystifying ball of transmogrifying energy. And also, you know my name on top of all that, which is always just the presage of something that isn't right.
Oh, right. Sorry. Where did I put my manners? Should I have acted oblivious? Should I try to do that now?
I don't really know how you should be acting. As for me, I think my main course of action is to stop the spellbound terror that is another inch or two away from coating my drawers.
That was actually pretty funny. Maybe we should have laughed here instead of before. But really, there is no need for that.
I beg to differ. Let's agree to disagree on this, because I'm really holding myself back. That laughter you heard was the disingenuous cry for help I needed to make in order to retain what little comprehension I have of the situation. What else am I supposed to do here? I'm on a big gray plate talking to a big blue... whatever it is you are. If this is the fairy tale scenario that this game wants to paint me in, then I want to be written the fuck out.
I'm afraid that's a little... well, impossible. But my intention from the start was to be here to provide you with valuable information. Rest assured, if you give me a moment to do so, you will feel much better.
Will I? Will I really?
Trust me, you will. Perhaps not as much as you wish, but for the moment, definitely. I have given this spiel more times than either of us can count, and I know all of its outcomes.
Well, that's just stellar. How about I just let you start explaining? I need to take a minute to just recover my sanity. Maybe it's off the edge right over here.
I would prefer if you didn't tread over there just yet. But very well then, as you wish. My name is Zehanpuryu. I would like to consider myself a friend, and I am here to help you prepare for your journey. I am one of the 13 forces that will be an integral part of achieving the goals you and your friends will need to make it through this game. Upon your entry, you released me from my confines in order to come through the portal to the medium with you. An achievement of yours in which I am very grateful you have accomplished. I am known as the Denizen of Breath, one of the 12 aspects of which you and your party quantify. And you, a unique vessel given the chance to grow as your own personal class to yield great power in due time. We are two halves of a whole, a bond to be formed, and a life to be given. The purpose I serve to you is to act as an ally and a guardian of a new world, a world which will be molded by the actions you make here with me as we speak.
Okay, that is all well and good. Just as believable as anything else I've heard, so let me toss my inhibitions aside and just try to roll with this. Even in doing so, this information doesn't add up on my end. My night has been a relatively long and arduous one, so forgive me for being a little bit on the I'm pretty fucking pissed side. But the situation we're in right now got quite the fucking drop on me, and the questions I really want to have answered haven't really gotten answered yet. The fact of the matter is, vague intrigue and wonder isn't really suiting my style just fine at the moment. If you don't mind sparing me the trouble, it would be nice if I could just get the simple answers pointing me in the right direction. Where we are specifically in this majestic medium of merriment would be a nice start.
The specifics of that are entirely up to you. Currently, we are hardly anywhere. You are standing on top of a blank slate, a canvas that can only be drawn into reality once you expressly show me that you want going into it. This world is made to be a representation of yourself, your desires, your challenges. It might not be a representation you want to see, but it will be one that necessitates your growth.
Ah, yeah, I get it now. I get that you, answering my question properly and giving me another trail of mystery-flavored wheat bits, leads me yet again to the obscure self-realization fantasy you, and I'm assuming whatever associates you have, want me to be content in adhering to. You really cleared it all up for me by clearing up nothing for me. Now I can press forward with the confidence I need to not know what it is I'm doing with my life.
To be fair, we aren't allowed to give you all the answers. If we gave you all of what you needed to know, then there would be nothing to learn. The finer details you seek cannot be properly expressed until this land generates a form. The broader scope is a perspective I do not believe you are capable of fully comprehending. However, I can give you a general explanation. Our current location is an entire planet specific to you, and part of a larger system of identical planets, which you know as the Medium. You were transported here, as I said before, after going through the portal you and your designated server player created. Before you entered and brought me in with you, this place still contained nothing. This empty form of a world has been through many cycles, and has dwelled within its existence for an amount of time that is unable to be quantified. From your perspective, I have been bound to it for just as long, as well as the rest of my counterparts. Each of us represents a piece of the central force that this world revolves around, known as Gaia. It is a living force currently barred by a powerful shield that you have started to assault through your entrance and the misdirection of the meteor you only just escaped.
Hang on. I think you just gave me a piece of misinformation. I was out of the loop right before my time came to enter, but I was briefed on what would be happening with my entry beforehand by one of my quote-unquote friends. He's actually much worse at explaining things than you or this game, but he told me and all the others that my hive, and if I weren't to enter myself, would end up being crushed under a metric shit ton of molten skyrock. Now, I can't really say what happened after I was knocked in here, but I assumed that he wasn't feeding me falsehoods. Or at least not explaining based ones. So, by all accounts until now, that section of the planet should be a debris-filled sinkhole, with my Lucis in the middle of all the rubble within. Poor guy.
If you fail to properly activate your gates, then yes, that would be correct. Though since you successfully completed your task, one of many gates formed over your home and kept the meteor from destroying the section of your planet. That meteor instead has barreled into a shield Gaia has recently formed to protect itself, something which has never happened before, and were surely done for the explicit purpose of your game.
So, the meteors are simply just a time-based mechanic made to make you believe in the almighty power of this game. But what's the point in just sending meteors away like that if they aren't all tied into what's happening?
That is where you're actually mistaken. These meteors always have a purpose. In any other game, the meteors were used to self-destruct what remained of the player's planet to clear it as a waste and provide an incentive. But in this specific session, your planet must be used as an integral component to the puzzle.
And the use of this Gaia place in our specific puzzle is...
Simple. To crack it open and use what's inside.
Why?
That is a job for you not to concern yourself with yet.
But it will be.
Yes.
Apparently, I am just so goddamn important tonight. I wish I heard all of this stuff earlier. Please, bestow upon me my reason for being. Because also, apparently, I have to be both important and useful. Two traits I can't say I wear on my chest with pride. So what's my best way to become a god amongst worms and play this game?
There are many ways you could go about this. Some more effective than others, though the exact path you chose is still ultimately up to you. Your specific class has a tendency to be troublesome, but you will come to your own conclusions. Only experience through progress will make things clear. That is not something I can tell you. And you can't take your first step until you have somewhere to walk on.
Well, I'd like to have it. Where is my blissful fantasy world where I can meet my true self? I'm starting to feel quite a bit cheated at this point. My review of your game isn't looking like it'll be squeaky clean.
Well, we have barely gotten to chat much about you. That is the best part. In my eyes, anyway. So please, go ahead. I'm putting on all the airs for you.
I think you're using that phrase wrong.
I know I am.
I'd prefer that you don't know about me,
And why's that?
because there really isn't much to say. I don't do anything, and what I'm saying here to you now is just out of habit, I guess. Things happen to me more than I can make things happen for me. This day has been a wild propensity for that.
Is today special for you outside of these current circumstances that you have realized?
You could say that. It's a lot.
A lot of what?
A lot.
That's all I needed to hear.
What? Really?
No, not really.
Fuck you.
Why don't you tell me why this day is so special for you?
It's my wriggling day.
Your... what?
Wriggling Day. The end date and start date of a new lunar cycle that holds the dictation of my creation within the artificial birthing segments.
Wow, your species has such a way with words.
This is why I didn't want to get into it.
No, I think there are other reasons. I can tell that there is something beneath your exterior that is crying and yearning for a helping hand. But you refuse to let it out. The fact that you do this alone tells me more about you than you ever could. But as I said, I have seen your kind before. I know how you work better than you might yourself know. I know where your morals lie because I embody them. You would not be with me otherwise.
Ideals? What ideals do I have? I can't even stand up straight. How can you tell me that I have allegiances to anything?
Every aspect is simply a congregation of various needs within a working soul. Existence would not be palpable without them. Breath is the air you take within to make your body move, the essential embodiment of the intangible needs and freedoms one holds within. You reflect that, and you always have done so. You are what you are, an association with choice, the validity of not being bound by singular options in your life, the power to change. That is what we are, and that is what you will do. All players start this game the same way, in the same format. No matter how much it changes, it always keeps the same tone. What you must consider is how you plan to differ yourself from the others who you have shared these confines with. To break free of a mold made for yourself, by yourself. How will you do that? That is the question of what your ultimate quest will be based upon. And at the end of that goal, I will be here waiting for you. I would really like for you to come find me again, Arcjec. But if you can't, I can promise you that I will be there to lift you up until you can once more.